Hello, you beautiful beings of light, love, wisdom, compassion, creativity. I am happy to have you join me today. Welcome back. Today, I want to remind you that you, dear soul, are a blank canvas. In those moments when you stop and take a deep breath and wonder why you're here, is this really what she says have any validity to it? Why won't my boss let me do whatever? Do I really want to live like this? Isn't there something better? Can't I, get out of this loop that I'm stuck in? I feel like a squirrel in a cage sometimes. That's how I feel. Every once in a while I get that way. So what I'm wondering is, how does an artist come up with their inspiration? How do they figure out what the next painting is going to be? Or does it just come from an inspiration? What is the next sculpture or carving? Whatever it is that artist does, where does that come from? Who invented the windmill? Let's take that for an example. How about the chef that gets a five-star Michelin rating? Maybe it's a four-star top. Michelin rating. I've never eaten at one. Thank you very much. But I'm game in case you're wondering. And you'd like to treat. That'd be great. However, what I'm saying is the inspiration, that word inspire, comes from the inside out. And as divine beings of our creator, of our source of all good that is even remotely possible, that comes from the inside. There's architects who have made some remarkable buildings, some of which I do not know what holds them up. And thank goodness somebody can crunch numbers and knows the physics. How about bridge builders and automobile makers and those who thought about taking us to the moon and beyond? There's so much. We live in a time of tremendous technological advances. There's so many that I can't keep up with them. And I come from an era where I started was with a ticker tape machine, and I don't know how many of you youngsters will even know what that is. But that goes back quite a ways, all the way back into the 60s and 70s. I know a scientist, a really wonderful, delightful human being who is passed on, who has a process that he holds many, many patents on, and that takes organic material, deconstructs it, cleans it up, and reconstructs it, and can be configured to anything you can imagine, whether it's building materials or knobs for your dresser, pictures, and these materials are so hard that they surpass most known materials. The thing is that this, because it's organic material, if you can imagine, corn husks or cottons or any wood can be broken down. Anything organic that think about our landfills and the amount of garbage that goes into those that can be sorted through easily. I mean, we're talking most materials these days can be eliminate or reduce our landfill problem exponentially. And also think about the wood that our forests are being torn down for building materials. And no wood is required in this, but the materials are harder than the hardest known wood. Fascinating, isn't it? Where did that inspiration come from? And this technology has been around for quite some time. And I just think that these innovations are remarkable. You know, there are women who who think about things to make our lives easier around our homes and at our workplaces, and there are well, I think about things like, you know, innovations that ideas that just make our lives easier. Think about things like GPS. I would be lost without it, so I'm grateful for that. What I'm talking about here is that creativity, which is what our source, you know, Father, Mother, God is, our creator. You know, what does that tell you? Has implanted within you, within your soul, which is trying to steer you and guide you to a better life, a happier life, a more productive, joyful life, doing things that you love. And so, with that in mind, you know, can you think back of whatever was in your heart at some time, whether it's a long time ago or yesterday, or if you stop to think about it, what comes into your awareness, what comes into your mind. You came here. You are here. This is a divine time in God's creation to remind humanity to wake up, to remember who you are, what you came here to do. When you were sitting up, wherever that is, before you came into this particular existence, you came with things that you wanted to do. You wanted to learn new things. You wanted to explore new things. You wanted to share new things. You wanted to grow and evolve and learn what it is to be love, to be cooperative, to have trusts broken, and to remember what trust really is, and to get back to that. And this is the courageous part of you, is to take that deep breath when something happens and to stop the response, the maybe whatever you were about to say or do that might not have been in keeping with a higher path, because there are plenty of slippery slopes and rocky roads out there, and with us being stuck in limiting beliefs, habits, patterns, all of those kinds of things that have our energy dip into areas that we really don't want it to go. Our whole life purpose is to be the love, be the joy, be the harmony, be the cooperation that we were designed to be. And there's so many other things. So our live events and experiences sometimes have us deviate from that knowing. And so this whole thing about consciousness that I keep talking to and referring to is that waking up is a matter of stopping when we're about to head into something that is the opposite of positive. If it is in any way negative, if you're about to perpetrate some harm upon somebody, and it can be verbal, it can be physical, but harm is harm no matter how you look at it. And that is not who we are. It's not who you are. And so learning to stop, take that deep breath. It is in that pause, in that place of silence, stopping the pattern, the habit, the behavior, and saying, allows your inner guidance to help you remember that is not who you are. It isn't what you want to do. And if you have the courage to simply let it be, let it go, then you have the possibility of reclaiming your true power and happiness very, very quickly, very quickly. And I know that you have that within you. You are what I call in those moments a blank canvas. You get to define who it is you want to be and how you want to be. And your whole purpose is your beingness. Be the soul that God put here in this human form to grow closer to Him, grow away from the war, greed, all of the things that are perpetrated upon us to have our lives be, I feel like a squirrel in a cage sometimes. You can't get ahead, you're stuck there, you're just going in circles, and you may have tremendous talents and gifts to share. You have things still you want to experience and enjoy. I mean, it's a vast, vast world that we live in, and beyond into the stars. And so you're only going to get there if you're willing to put a pause in your actions and your thoughts and behaviors in order to ask, what am I supposed to be doing in this moment? I think I told you the story about my brother, I guess I can say that. He might not appreciate it, but I won't say which one, and I have a lot of them. So, who said to me one time, get up and go to work. He said, I say this every morning a dozen times before I can finally get myself out of bed. And he really, truly, he worked 7 days a week. And he said, and I look at you, and I look at you, and I think, you say to yourself, gee, I wonder what I want to do today. And he said, there's just something about that I just don't get. And I looked at him and I said, you're not far off, because I wake up every morning grateful that I'm breathing. I get to open my eyes and I get another shot at maybe what I didn't do so well the previous day, or another shot at just being the best me I can be. And I say, so, God, what would you have me do today? And that is the distinction I want to make with you. We live in a world in which we have to pay the rent. We have to buy groceries. We have to repair the car when it breaks down. We got to buy the kids new shoes and jackets in the winter, and get them music lessons and sports, athletic activities, and all of the paraphernalia that goes along with those, and all the things that envelop our lives. And so we are, like I say, I felt like a squirrel in a cage sometimes, and I don't know, maybe you feel the same way. But we can go about our day in some of the most remarkable, wonderful, fulfilling ways that fill us up with positivity, that encourage and uplift others, instead of depleting and diminishing us, and making us sometimes feel small or worthless, and other things. So it's about choice, making the choice, a conscious choice, in those pauses to try to remember, what did I really want to do? What would I like to be? And in your beingness and in the quiet that you find either out in nature, within yourself when you meditate, or when you're quiet, something happens and you get either a knowing, sense about something that you really want to do. And, I look at sometimes people who stack rocks. Have you ever seen the way they put those little pointy ends on another pointy end? And I'm like, how do you do that? And I realized in watching one who really explained a little bit that it requires a tremendous amount of quiet, patience, and trial and error. But I tell you what, the results are beautiful. And so in finding ways to be meditative in your creativity, it inspires from the inside, inspires more creativity. You're a blank canvas. That's how I started, and that's how I want you to remember this particular video. You're a blank canvas. You get to decide. You get to choose. There are thousands of moments during a day when you get to choose how you're going to respond, what you want to say, how you want to be. And that blank canvas, when you choose to be, or choose the high road. If you choose the high road, then you get to begin that process of walking a higher path in hand with who you are as a soul, a true being of God, here expressing yourself in that form as a human, acting as if all is well. You get to realize when you're not, that harmony is missing. Harmony. And you're not in alignment with your God self. When you're not, the harmony is missing, the joy disappears. What may have been you on a smooth rolling mechanism, everything just going along smoothly, all of a sudden comes to a halt. That is a clue for you to realize you're out of alignment with who you truly are. And you get to once again choose love, peace, harmony, joy, to respond differently or to stop and not respond at all and just listen. You get to choose how you're going to color your canvas. You're going to choose the picture that you're going to paint for that day. And it can be vibrant, wonderful, delightful colors that uplift and inspire others. And when you do that, you are opening the door for that to happen on a regular, daily basis. The more you're able to catch yourself when you're out of harmony and do what you can to bring it back in, or to at least stop the disharmony, then you are well on your way to painting a beautiful life canvas for yourself. And the more you can do that, the more often wonderful things will happen and come into your life. You're a blank canvas, and as such, you're a beautiful soul full of colors, full of delightful beingness. And I want to say I'm so happy to be on the earth with you at this time, sharing this time together with you, having this walk. Even though there's upheavals around us, we can take these moments out of our busy daily lives to connect with the truth of who we are, and to remember that we are a part of something much, much bigger. Your beingness, along with me, is important to others and helps us to move the planet into a place of peace and harmony. So I want to tell you that I love you this much. That's a pretty big heart. This much. And those arms go all the way around the world, I can tell you that. And thank you for joining me today. I hope that there's something within this message that you can take and practice. So like, share, and subscribe. It is when you subscribe to this channel that we grow and walk the earth together in peace and harmony. So thank you for joining me, and I will see you next time. Have a great, great evening, day, wherever you are. Oh, I am here. I am here. I am here for you.